look, give us money online, whatever. But I'll give you just a quick rundown of what we do as an organization. It's actually a very small organization, despite our kind of overblown claim to be the interfaith center of New York. We're a small nonprofit. There's about a half dozen staff, but we do a range of different programs. Two general types of things that we do. Foster care system, providing reentry services for people coming home from prison, improving police-community relations. It's just incredibly important to mobilize religious communities to be engaged in all those kinds of issues. But then the second reason why we focus on these social issues is because we want to expand as wide as we possibly can the range of people who are interested in doing this kind of interfaith. Some of those more conservative, traditional religious leaders who are skeptical of interfaith dialogue, they're going to come out because they care about the issue. They want to be there because they're concerned about foster care or immigration or, domestic violence, for example, has been another big issue that we've worked on a lot in the previous years. And they're going to come out to learn more about the topic because they think, and we hope they're right, that it'll benefit their own community. But then once they're there, they're going to look around and they're going to say, oh, look, there's like Christians here and Sikhs and Buddhists and what's the robes that guy is wearing, and then some conversations will start. So these conversations about social issues are a way to bring a wider range of people into this kind of interfaith process, beyond just the liberals in every tradition who value interfaith relations just as an end in themselves. Yeah.
What are the key issues that are discussed in these
it depends on the topic.
There are certain topics that take more of your time than others?
Yes, but not always for the... it's funny, like any nonprofit organization, the topics that take more of our time than others is partly driven by the needs of the people that we serve, and also driven by, what do funders want to just kind of bubble up in different ways.
What are the issues from your perspective as an anthropologist, especially the Jewish issues?
The Jewish issues. I'll get more to the Jewish issues in a second. But I think, here's the thing. When it comes to these kinds of social issues, the kinds of issues that we deal with in all of our programs are the issues that cut across every community. Where the Jewish issues are exactly the same as the Muslim issues and the Christian issues and the Hindu issues. And they play out differently in every community. There's domestic violence, for example, in every religious community, in every community in New York, in the world. Jews confront that problem sometimes in different ways than Christians or Muslims or others, but it's an issue that everyone deals with. There's poverty in every community in New York. More of it in some communities than in others, but there's no religious community that isn't, dealing with poverty and inequality. Right? So we really try to avoid, the Jewish issues or the Muslim issues or the Christian issues or Hindu issues, and sort of look at these social issues where every community has a stake.
Yeah, they're like 5 hands.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
I might ask a question that is related, but from a different side.
Yeah.
What issues have created the most disagreement between religious leaders in the community? Like what kind of social issue that you brought, or that was, discussed in one of those summer camp seminars?
Let's say like an open group or open sharing, let's say, that by the dynamics of the group, whatever issues come up and then you relate to it, or is it more that you have like a structured program or a structured agenda in which you want to offer them how to handle social issues? Like do you give them tools, or is it something that something
is about the board or the management of the organization. is like, are you making sure that there is a representative from each religion? Like, for example, if a Jewish person living, it has to be someone Jewish that's replacing him, or this is one question, or it's based by the size of the tradition, or
Yeah.
this is one question. The second question is, you said that the leaders of each tradition is like very liberal, etc. How they deal, or how the tradition of some of the religion that I'm seeing here, how they deal with them. Like, for example, like I know that Christianity or Muslim, in the end of the day, I don't know if they go, but they believe that in the end everyone has to be Muslim, or no, like I hope it's not true, it's just like what
Well,
I
it's-
know. So how it's not true? Okay.
It's not.
Based on
It's complicated.
I hope it's not true. That's just
It's more true of
You don't
Christianity.
have to apologize, you know?
no,
Yeah.
because
You can say what you think.
That's- It's more true of Christianity actually than any other tradition. There's a bigger, more kind of dominant element within.
Following Iran's question, have any of the religious leaders encountered criticism within their communities? And if so, could you tell us a little bit about that? And another question.
Criticism like for participating in interfaith programs.
Exactly. And the other question is, I take it that you are an NGO.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there any similar governmental funded initiatives or governmental supported initiatives?
Well, let me answer the second one first. We're an NGO or nonprofit organization. We do actually get some funding from the government for some of our programs. The course for teachers that Asia is going to talk at, and the establishment clause in the Constitution, separation of church and state, and oversimplification of trying to improve, interfaith relations in the way that, in the UK, I know
Jewish gangster and prostitution, and you kind of passed,
Jewish gangsters.
well, way back, but you kind of passed quickly on, Jews have problems, but I think there's a, conception of a upper middle class, community. Maybe you can highlight a little bit some of the problems that are relevant to ours, and the other thing
Asia could say more on that probably than I can.
לגבי מחר.